Hey folks, Sunday in the South. I'm going to be making a Cajun chicken stew. Very filling. Starts out similar to making a gumbo. I've got some chicken thighs here that I've started to process. I left two of them out. These are bone in, skin on, and I want to get the bones out of them. And if you've never tried to remove bones from a thigh, it's not very difficult. Get you a good pair of kitchen shears and just run right down along the side of it. And just cut it out of there. And then what I've got left here, the scraps, the bones, the excess fat, excess skin, got in that bowl right yonder. And we're going to put that in a pot with some unsalted store-bought chicken broth and add a few other things, and we're going to make a stock for this stew. It's going to have a lot of good flavor. Make this extra good. Now these thighs, we're gonna roast these off in the oven. But I want to season them up and let them set in the refrigerator a little bit. And this is a salted Cajun seasoning. Get some on all of them. A little brine we're gonna make here. Seasoned up there pretty good. Looking about right to me. Put them in the refrigerator and let them set for a few hours and get right. We'll be back here in a few minutes to get this stock going. Alright folks, let's get this homemade stock put together. I got 4 cups unsalted store-bought chicken broth. I got some old onion here, some scraps off of onions. I'm going to throw them in the pot. A core of a bell pepper, a core of a red pepper. I got some parsleys, about a 1/4 cup of parsley. If you got some carrots, throw them in there. I don't have none. You can put a little celery in there if you got that. Put whatever herbies you want in there. It'll make it more better. And that's the scraps. I'm going to put them old chicken bones and fat and chicken skin in there. And then I'm going to put me a bay leaf in there if I can get it out the darn jar. Matter of fact, I'm going to put 2 bay leaves. We're going to add some thyme. We'll do about a 1/2 teaspoon of dried thyme. A little rosemary would be good in here since this is a chicken broth. Here again, can't get the top off. Do about 1/2 teaspoon of that rosemary. We'll put about a 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper in there. Let me find something to stir with. Get that stirred up there a little bit. gonna be a good stock. I'll put the lid on it. Cut the heat back. We're gonna let it simmer for 4 or 5 hours. It'll be ready come dinner time. Be back shortly. Now, this stock been bubbling here about 2 hours. Let's take a look at it. Been on a real low simmer. Chicken done falling apart. That's good. Gonna be a real nice stock. And I forgot to put some sage in this. We gotta have a little sage in a chicken stock. Half a teaspoon ground sage. And at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and add 2 more cups of water. There's 6 total cups of liquid in there so far. 4 cups of chicken broth, store-bought stuff. 2 cups of water. Looking pretty good. We're gonna strain this out, of course. Smells good. Gonna be a good stock. Alright, let it keep bubbling. Be back later. Alright, I turned this stock off about 30 minutes ago. It simmered for about 4 hours. Go ahead and get it strained here. Be a good stock to work with. I'm gonna put it in here and get some of that grease to the top. I'll be back shortly to put all this together. Alright, get started with this Cajun chicken stew. We gotta make a roux. Now normally if you already had, a good stock made, or if you're just gonna use some store-bought stock, this is where you would start at. 3/4 a cup of oil. We got some that's vegetable oil. You want to use a high heat oil, vegetable canola. 3/4 cup of flour. And we're gonna make a roux here, and this is not going to be a real dark roux, which would normally be used in a gumbo. We're gonna make this about a medium dark roux. Get that all whisked together nice and smooth. And a lot of people are scared of fooling with these roux, and there's no reason to be. You can just put the heat down real low and keep it stirred, and you'll be alright. You're not going to burn it. But you can also do it on a higher heat. Just stay on top of it. It's not going to burn. So as long as you keep it moving, it's not going to burn. So we'll watch this change colors. I suspect this will take about 20-25 minutes. We'll see. Depends on how high I can run this heat here. But, if you keep it on a medium or a medium low or a low, you don't have to stand right on top of it. You can walk off for a few minutes and it'll be alright. Now the secret to making these roux is you just got to keep them moving. And depending on how much fire you got on the skillet will determine how quickly we get to a dark roux or darker roux. It's going to change shades of color over time. The darker the roux, the nuttier the flavor, but it has less thickening power. So I want this to thicken some, so we're not going to take this all the way to a real dark roux like what would go in gumbo. I've got the heat up pretty good, so it's not going to take very long. Got that roux about where I want it there. There's some milk chocolate, dark caramel. And you see it didn't take that long. You just have to stay on it. I cut the fire off. And one thing about this too, when you whooping this up, be careful. I tell you what, you splatter that stuff on, you're gonna be madder than hell at yourself. A Cajun napalm. It's about 375 degrees, and when it hits, it don't come off. So the fire's off. I've got a diced onion, a half a green and a half a red pepper in here. It's been in the refrigerator, it's cold. I'm gonna get it in here. And let that stop the cooking process. And it's gonna thicken up because those vegetables are releasing their water in that hot roux. It's gonna smell real good. And it's gonna get darker. It's gonna look darker. I'm just going to let that sit there and do its thing for just a few minutes till it cools off some. And we'll put some garlic in it and get that stock in. Alright, them vegetables have been sizzling there a few minutes. It's cooled off a little bit. First thing I'm going to go in with is a little bit of cold water. Just to help get this roux incorporated a little bit without a bunch of lumps starting. Because that stock is still warm. Now, what I've always said, hot roux, cold liquid. So let's just get this in here and get it started to prevent lumpages, just like it. Yep. All right, now we can put the stock in. I got the fire turned back on. You gotta bring this up to a good simmer. That's pretty similar to a gumbo. A little different, not a whole lot. Alright, 4 cups of homemade stock in there. I'm going to put some garlic in. 1 teaspoon, 2 teaspoons. We're going to put some Raging Cajun seasoning in here. Let's see, I'll do about 3/4 of a teaspoon. I'll taste it later. See if we need any more and some salt. I'm going to put about 1/2 of a tablespoon of cayenne pepper. Leave that out if you want to. Two tablespoons Louisiana hot sauce. I'm going to let this simmer here for a little while. We want these vegetables to really cook down in this roux. This is going to thicken some more as it reduces. Alright, we got the seasonings in there. Got it up to a nice simmer. And this is going to have to simmer for a little while. Those vegetables simmer down real nicely in here. In the meantime, I got the oven heating up here to 350. We're gonna get this chicken in there roasting. All right, chicken got seasoned about 5 hours earlier, and in the refrigerator. We're gonna get them on this rack here, and they going in the oven 350, and I'm using a convection roast. If you don't have convection on your oven, do regular bake, but I'd run the temp up to about 400, 425. Let's get them on in there. Shouldn't take about 25, 30 minutes. We'll see. Be back shortly. Alright, I got the chicken out the oven, roasted up real nice. And this broth here, I tell you what, it sure does smell good. Before we do anything else, I'm going to get a taste here and see what we need on seasonings, because I'm sure it's not done. Yeah, it's going to need some stuff. So the heat's just right. The vegetable flavor's just right. The chicken flavor's coming through nice. It just needs some more salt. And some more of this Creole seasoning. And this is salted, so I'm going to use that. I'm going to put a whole nother tablespoon in there. See what that does. It's still a little bland. Put another half a table in there. So we got 2 1/4 tablespoons in there so far of Cajun seasoning. Let's see if that said it right. That did the trick right there. Go ahead and drop these chickens in there. Ooh, it's gonna be good. Put the top on it. Low simmer. I'm going to let it simmer for a little while. 30 minutes or hour, it don't matter. You can let it simmer all day at this point. We're going to let it go a little while, let everything marry and get happy. We'll be back shortly. All right, that chicken's been in there for about an hour. Let's take a look and see what it's doing. Ooh, that looked good. It's just the right consistency on that gravy that we made there. That's gonna be good. I got some rice done over in the pot. We'll get this plated up. Alright, we got the white rice there in the bowl. Let me get some of this in here. There it is. Louisiana Chicken Stew. I'll put a little scallion or 2 on the top. It's gonna be good. Now, you don't have to do a darker roux with this. You can, you could take that roux to a dark blonde. That'll be fine too. It'd just be a little bit more of a yellow color instead of the darker color. And before you put your roasted chicken in that gravy, and you're tasting for salt and seasoning, just remember this is going with bland rice, so you want to make sure you season over and above what you normally would, to counter out the rice. But it's easy. It just takes a while. It's a Sunday meal. All right, till next time. Peace.